He first asked me, "Are you afraid to die?"
Mm-hmm.
And I said no. And then I asked him, "Are you afraid to die?" And he said no. And he was just talking about how we could like run away together, that kind of like dream. And he asked me, he was like, "Would you kill your grandparents?"
Chilling words from a 17-year-old who viciously beat her grandparents to death. But she didn't do it alone.
You actually had the tire iron in your hand, or is it still in the book bag?
I had the tire iron in my hand. We got it out before we went inside the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I had it in my hand. And Johnny didn't have any weapon. He just used his fist.
I'm Elizabeth Millner with Law&Crime. Now, normally we'd say allegedly, but in this case, we aren't. Why? Because these two teens pleaded guilty to the horrifying crime. This case was so brutal, one of the teens could have even faced the death penalty. We've seen it all here at Law&Crime, right? Murderers of different ages, murderers who kill for love, and even murderers who live with dead bodies for days on end. And this case has all of that, literally, plus so much more.
So you took the tire iron, is it just...
I started just beating her head with it.
So this unfolded back in 2017. Officers with Gwinnett PD got a wellness call from a relative out of state hoping to check in on Wendy and Randall Bjorge. Family members hadn't heard from the couple in about a week, so police went to check on them. When they entered the home, though, they did find Wendy and Randall, but there was no saving them. One body was found in the bedroom, another in the hallway. The couple's car, though, was found nearly 2 miles away. But here's the thing. The car was found when police responded to another assault involving another family. And turns out those two cases were linked together. I do need to mention here, there was a person missing from the Bjorge's home, the couple's granddaughter, Cassandra. And that kind of explains what happens next. So how the Bjorge case is connected to the assault case a couple miles away is that the assault case involved Cassandra's boyfriend's family. Cassandra's boyfriend was 19-year-old Johnny Hero Rider. Police say Cassandra and Johnny attacked Johnny's sister and her boyfriend. And not just any attack, like a grab a baseball type of attack. So that happened. Johnny's sister had to get staples in her head after the attack. As for the crime spree Johnny and Cassandra were on, police say they murdered Cassandra's grandparents days before they attacked Johnny's sister and her boyfriend. How they were caught, you might be wondering? Well, they were in a SWAT standoff and tried to kill themselves by stabbing themselves. So that's a lot, right? They did recover from their injuries. When police spoke with Cassandra, she was all bandaged up on both arms. But at least she was treated at McDonald's, right?
You all right?
Yeah. Yeah, my hand just feels a little weird.
Yeah, I bet. All right, here are your fries.
Awesome.
Here's my wrapper.
Yeah, I was getting really sick of the hospital food.
I bet.
After some McDonald's fries, though, it was time to get to the bottom of what happened. But true crime watchers know how police interviews go. It starts off with simple questions, softball questions, if you will.
Your boyfriend, Johnny,
Mm-hmm.
how long you date that dude for?
Like 3 months.
3 months. Where'd you guys meet at?
I met him through the ex-boyfriend who sold my phone.
That's payback.
That's true, I guess.
I met him because they came to pick me up one day because we wanted to chill. And then we went to Tybee Island for like 2 days.
That's awesome.
So.
Did you guys stay in a hotel or on the beach or what?
Yeah, we stayed at a hotel. Like, they paid for everything. And they asked me if I wanted to come. And I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's go have fun on the beach.
And this was Johnny's family, I guess?
No, this was like, it was just me, Johnny, Tyler, and this guy named Corey.
Okay. You and Johnny pretty tight? Did you have feelings for him, or just kind of a boyfriend type thing, or?
I had feelings.
Oh,
I
yeah.
still have feelings for him.
I gotcha.
I care about him.
I guess I'm gonna ask a corny question: is it love or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what he told me. After Tybee, we went to Atlanta, and we were on like this, I don't know, it was like this parking lot thing, and we got to see like the whole city.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me that when we were sitting up there, that like, for a second, he looked at me and I looked at him, and he told me that all he could see was just me and then purple around me. And he said like purple is like a sign of love. And he said like ever since then, like it was like love at first sight or something.
That's kind of cute though.
I don't know. I mean, he got married to like this crazy bitch, and then now she's like saying that I'm stalking her when I've only met the girl like twice.
Yeah, I talked to Johnny a couple days ago, and just talking to him, think she definitely was crazy. So
Is he okay?
yeah, he's fine. So he sends his regards and all that stuff. So
Is he doing okay?
no, he's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, he actually is better off than you. You know, they weren't that deep or anything. So he didn't.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I could have sworn he did worse than me because I remember when we were in the bathroom, because he did it with me too. He kept going, and I kept telling him to stop. So.
Yeah, maybe this tougher skin. I don't really know.
As it came time for Cassandra to answer to what happened, well, she says it started when her grandmother, who she'd been living with, kicked her out of the home.
I was chilling with Johnny and my other friend Sabrina, and I came home because, it was time for curfew, because I didn't want to violate my probation. So I came home, and my grandpa was asleep, and my grandma got really mad at me, and she was, saying, oh, if you don't like it here, we're just going to find somewhere else for you to stay. And she just said that out of the blue. She just got really mad for some reason. And so I was just like, if you're going to find another place for me to stay, I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to find somewhere else to go. So.
And this was basically when you took off, you came back, your grandparents were home, and I guess that's when you had that argument?
Wait, what?
So you just had an argument with your grandma, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then
I left.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I got you. And then when you left, where'd you go to?
I was just staying with Johnny. We were sleeping in his car.
And what kind of car is that?
It was a blue Honda or Toyota. It was kind of like the car that you had, the same style ish.
Like 4 doors.
And then so you're kicking it with Johnny. Where are you kicking it with him at?
We were just all over the place, Bailey. We were just trying to find something to do. Just keep, just have something to do because we don't want to just sit around and do nothing. So, we were finding people to chill with and go to the mall or something.
Was it all your friends you were chilling with, or all his friends, or a combination? Or?
It was sort of combination between both.
Who are your friends? Is it just Sabrina, or you got other?
I only have one other friend, Izzy.
Izzy.
I don't like chilling with a lot of people just because I don't trust a lot of people.
I'm the same way. I literally only have a couple friends myself, so she's one of them. So so I guess when do you decide to go back to your grandparents' house in the middle of the night?
It was a couple days after, 2 or 3 days.
You remember Saturday, Sunday? Do you have an exact?
I don't really remember. I didn't really even know what day it was that we went into the house.
And before you did that, did you and Johnny meet up somewhere at a park or something to talk about what's going on?
We went to Peace Church Park and we talked about it. At first, it wasn't my idea at first.
How did you even get, I guess, what was said? How did you even bring up? What was the context?
He first asked me, are you afraid to die? And I said no. And then I asked him, are you afraid to die? And he said no. And he was just talking about how we could run away together, that kind of dream. And he asked me, he was like, would you kill your grandparents? And I kind of hesitated for a minute. And I was like, why? And he was just like, I don't know, because he knows probably everything that I've been through with all of my family. And he understands that, all I really wanted to do was just kind of get away from everything, kind of just move on with myself. I wasn't having a good relationship with my grandparents. It started getting really bad, that I got a charge from them because, I fought them, I might have broken, my grandpa's ribs when, for that charge for simple assault and simple battery, And it just got really worse. We just kept arguing all the time, and then, I don't know, I guess things, just seemed different. They didn't look at me the same anymore. They didn't, I don't know, it's the vibe that they have was they didn't really know what to do. They didn't really know how to be around me, I guess. They didn't really know how to talk to me. So I didn't really know how to talk to them either. So it was just a really hard.
It was a big age difference too, so
yeah. And then before all of the stuff happened with my parents, they treated me so much differently. They had they trusted me. I could have done anything at their house. I was free and I loved going over there, and it wasn't like I was actually living there. So because I was with my parents, so I never ever had that feeling. But even though I did live with them before, I don't know. It was just it kind of just changed throughout the whole time that I was with them. So I don't know. I kind of just
Grew apart.
yeah.
According to Cassandra, her grandparents' murder wasn't random. She and Johnny came up with a plan.
How we started talking about it was we started out with what time should we go over to the house? How are we gonna do this? What materials do we need to do this? So we started talking about that, and then so we decided to go around midnight or 1:30 because my grandma normally went to sleep around 11:30, 12. So we decided we would park down the road, and then the park was literally right behind my backyard, the neighborhood park. So I was able to go through the park and then cut through my backyard because there was a fence. There was the trees, then there was my fence, and then there was the house. So you could easily go through the trees, and then there was the little gate that you could go through. I didn't even think you could even open it.
Yeah, how'd you guys move that cement? Isn't there a cement block or cinder block or something?
Yeah, it was pretty easy to move. I was able to push the door out a little bit, and then it was stuck, but I was able to maneuver my body over to get in the, into the other side, and then I just moved the cement block over so then Johnny could get through,
Gotcha.
and then I moved it back.
Do you remember what you guys were wearing when you guys did this, or?
I was wearing mostly red. I had red sweatpants. I had a red hoodie on. I had a black a t-shirt that I used as a mask. I think Johnny wore all black, maybe a little bit of color.
Did the hoodie have a design or anything on it? Do you remember, or?
I think he had a design on the hoodie.
Yours?
No. Well, yeah, on mine. I had something. It wasn't my hoodie. It was Johnny's because he let me borrow it. It said something on there. So it was had white letters, and then I guess he had this design on his hoodie too.
And you guys said you had t-shirts wrapped around. Did you guys?
They were just it was a
rags
old,
or something?
Yeah, an old t-shirt.
What was that for?
Just cover up our faces.
How'd you move up to the house?
Well, we went up the stairs.
The decking stairs?
Yeah,
okay.
The back deck. And my grandma was still up because we got there a little bit early. So we went back down and we were kind of just chilling over where...
the shed is?
Yeah, we were just chilling by the shed. And then we saw that the lights turned out, and then we just stayed outside for a little bit longer just to, wait. And then I already had the keys to my house because I already had a set of keys, so I was able to unlock the back door. And then that just made everything easier.
And as back door, do you mean the bottom back door, or so you're still talking about the door on the steps?
Yeah,
Okay.
when you go up the back, on the back deck, there's two doors. There's a door on the left and a door on the right, and I went to the door on the right because the door on the left had a sensor on it, one of those
beep beep or whatever.
Yeah,
okay.
The door 4 open. Something like that.
One of the ones that kind of announces each door. Okay. But the one you guys went into didn't have it.
Yeah, I was able to take that one out because it was a really old alarm system. They had this alarm system for years, and all you had to do was just you had to push this little button just to open it, and then just take the battery out. And I already took the battery out a while ago.
What was that for? You taking the battery out?
Just to sneak out.
Okay.
And plus, I hated that. thing that went off every time. It got so annoying.
Okay.
So you guys are at that back door now. You're the first one to kind of walk inside there, or how do you? Okay.
So there was stuff in front of the door because my grandma normally would block off the back door. So, but I was able to open. So I unlocked the back door. I was able to open the back door a little bit and not have the stuff in front of the door fall and, make a noise. So I was able to maneuver in, and then I moved the stuff in front of the door, and then I got Johnny in. And then we closed the door and locked it.
When they went inside the home, Cassandra says she and Johnny quietly listened to what was going on from downstairs. And then they eventually went upstairs, but they weren't empty-handed.
I had, what's it called? It's one of those car tool things.
Is it to do a tire, or is it to
tire
fix
iron.
it?
It was a tire iron. So I had one of those.
Where'd you get that at?
Johnny's car. Because he had one in his car.
His Honda or whatever.
And Johnny just used his fist. And he brought a black book bag that had duct tape in it. And it had the tire iron in it.
Oh.
And it had gloves in it. Because we were also wearing gloves too.
What kind of gloves?
They were like
hospital gloves or regular?
Hospital
okay.
gloves.
What color were they? You remember?
Blue.
Okay.
Ish. Yeah, they were blue.
Okay.
So
now you guys are at the stairs, starting to go up the stairs.
yeah.
You actually had the tire iron in your hand, or is it still in the book bag?
I had the tire iron in my hand. We got it out before we went inside the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I had it in my hand. And Johnny didn't have any weapon. He just used his fist.
Okay.
I go up the stairs. He goes into my grandpa's room, and then I go into my grandma's room.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
And then do you hear kind of what's going on over there? And does that kind of cue you off to with your grandmother there?
Yeah, he started going at it, and then, I could hear my grandpa just yelling, them fighting, and then I started getting the rush, and then, that's when I started hitting my grandma in the head.
So you took the tire iron, is it just...
I started just beating her head with it.
Does she have a pillow over her head, do you know? Or
No.
would she have a pillow around her head or something? Okay.
The way she was laying was she was on her stomach, and her head was facing to the right. If you go into the bedroom and you look at the bed, so her head was facing the opposite direction, so she couldn't see me coming through the door.
Okay.
So, and then he started, beating my grandpa, and then after a little bit, I hit her really hard on the back of the head, and then she started screaming and stuff. And
was that the first hit?
Yeah.
The back of the head?
Yeah. That's where I mainly hit her in the head. She bit me.
I think I took a picture of that yesterday, right?
Yeah, she bit me in my finger too, but I forgot which finger. It was on my right hand. I think it was either my middle finger or it was that one.
And when you and your grandmother used to get into it, that's kind of how did she bite you before to kind of get you off her or whatnot?
Yeah, she's bitten me before.
Well, she's bitten you before too.
Yeah, I haven't bitten her, but she's bitten me before.
Okay.
Have you, when you guys are in it, or did you just come up and bite you?
No, when we were in it.
Okay.
I had this mark on my hand from where she bit me for a while.
Where did she bite you that night? On your finger?
Yeah.
Anywhere else?
On my arm,
Okay.
where they took the picture of it, and then that was it.
So you're in the bedroom with your grandmother. When do you meet back up with Johnny? Do you leave your grandmother there, or kind of what happens?
So I started hitting my grandma, and I already had duct tape, and then, Johnny's doing his thing, and, I stopped hearing Johnny doing whatever, and so he comes in the room with me and my grandma, and, he helps me, tie up my grandma with the duct tape, and
how did you do that? Is it just her hands, or?
I got her hands, I got her whole head, and then I got her ankles.
Okay, with her hands, I guess.
It was behind her back.
So it's just like this?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, what about anything on her head or neck, or did you?
Yeah, we kind of wrapped the duct tape around her head-ish. So, and then that was it.
What was that for?
Just so then She kept it on.
Oh, okay.
I just cut it.
And you said her ankles too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just imagining what Wendy went through in those moments is hard to picture in your mind. And this being carried out by her granddaughter, who is walking the detectives through what happened casually over a milkshake. But the details, honestly, no matter how casually they are said, are shocking.
What were you doing when you went back in your grandpa's room?
I was still with my grandma, and then
In her room?
yeah, and then I dragged her into my grandpa's room, and Johnny asked me to go get some knives. So I got some knives from downstairs in the kitchen, and I got 3 like, big butcher knives. And then that's when he started like stabbing my grandpa, because then I went back upstairs because I dragged my grandma into my grandpa's room, so they were both in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I asked her for the code to her safe, because I already knew that she had a safe in her closet. I just didn't know it was in the safe.
Mm.
So, I mean...
Did she tell you?
Yeah, I mean, like, she kept saying, like, I'll give you money, I'll give you my keys, you know, I'll give you anything you want. But, yeah, she just kept
Was
saying...
she able to talk with the duct tape around her face?
Yeah. Like, she was like, mumbling. You could still understand her, but, like, at the same time, you couldn't.
Like, it wasn't like her mouth was shut. Like,
Yeah.
almost as if...
It was like that.
Okay. Almost as if, like, she could still move her mouth enough to make the words be on the tape. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Johnny's stabbing your grandfather, is it mainly in the torso or? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he just, I don't know why he did that, but he just kept going.
How many times? More than 2?
Yeah,
5?
more than 5.
Okay.
It was more than 5.
And then what happened when he was done with that? What were you doing? What were you guys doing next?
So we left my grandma sitting there on the floor, and then I got the code to the safe. So Johnny's watching my grandpa and my grandma, and I'm over.
How'd you get that code? Did she tell you guys, or?
She told us.
Okay.
So she told us the code, and I went in the closet because that's where they kept the safe. So I go in there, I'm checking out all the stuff, and I grab the book bag, and I just start stuffing the book bag with everything, Like, there was envelopes just filled with money. There was probably about, like, $1,000 that we found in that safe that they were just saving. And...
Did you know about that money, or you just said no?
Well, my grandma, it was kind of weird. Like, she was kind of giving me, like, an idea about it before. Like, she was saying, what if I just gave you $1,000? Would that just make the world a better place? I'm just like, no, I don't want $1,000, So, she kept saying that, and then, like, when I saw it, I was just like, wow, she actually had $1,000 in her safe. Like, that's crazy.
So you guys put that stuff in a bag, and then basically Johnny's in your grandpa's room with your grandpa and your grandma in the room. Do you come back in there and say, hey, I got the stuff? Or what? Okay.
Yeah, I go back into the room, and I tell him that I got the stuff. And so after that, he slits my grandpa's throat, and then we drag my grandma into the bathroom, and...
What was the reason for that? Just to bring her to the bathroom?
Yeah, I don't know why we brought her back into the bathroom. I guess we didn't want to bring her into the bedroom.
Okay.
So we just brought her into the bathroom. And then Johnny slit her throat too. Mm-hmm. And I actually hit her in the back of the head with the tire iron. Well, not the back of the head, but like right where your spine is. Because he was telling me, he was like, if you hit right there, like just one like good hit, you can just knock the person out and then they'll be dead. Mm-hmm. And she was like pretending to be dead for a while. Like I would, check up on her and I would see that she was still breathing. And I'll be like, Johnny, she's still alive. What the heck? And then like Johnny finally like made the like last blow. And it was kind of creepy because she was like scared. To die, like, she herself and peed herself.
Oh, did she?
It was kind of gross.
What's more chilling is after both teens knew Cassandra's grandparents were dead, they continued to stay in their house and invited other people over too.
Yeah, it was kind of both. We were kind of like in and out of the house for a couple days. It was just me and him. We didn't tell anyone. I mean, I told my friends that my grandparents went on a vacation for like 2 weeks.
Did you call some of your friends ever and say, hey, if you guys want to come over? Because I spoke to some people, and that's just the rumor going out. They said, hey, if you guys want to come over, not for a party or anything, but, you know, I got some money, grandparents are out of town. Yeah.
I mean, I would just tell people, like, I would just be like, hey, you know, like, I have, like, the free crib, but I wouldn't have people come over. You know, I'd just be like, if y'all are trying to chill, I'll come meet up with you.
Okay.
I wouldn't let them go to the house.
Right.
That makes sense.
Now, can I ask a question? Obviously, when you guys were done with everything, you had some blood on you, I bet.
Yeah, I had some blood on my face.
Okay. Did you change clothes?
Yeah.
Were you in the house when you changed your clothes?
Yes.
Okay. Did you had extra clothes because you lived there?
Yeah.
What about Johnny? Did Johnny have to change clothes?
Yes.
Okay. What'd you guys do with those clothes?
We put them in a trash bag, and I think we left the trash bag in my grandpa's car.
So you got 4 teenagers inside the house. Nobody gets hungry?
Well, if we got hungry, we would have left and got something to eat. But the conversation with the smell and the sewage, that.
Well, just don't hang up on that. That's just rumors. People in high school talk a lot of crap, and that's just rumors that I heard. I knew somebody. I've seen videos and things like that, and I pretty much knew somebody was in that house. Why would you protect them and not tell me about it?
Let me ask you a question. You killed Grandma and Grandpa with Johnny. Johnny, you said, glues and what we know to be caulks the doors. Was that immediately after, or was that before people came over?
That was before people came over.
Okay, so
I even poured bleach on them before he did that to the door.
You poured bleach on Grandma and Grandpa?
Yeah.
And you left one of the bleach bottles in the bathroom next to Grandma?
Yeah.
Why did you pour bleach on them?
Johnny told me to.
For the smell? Okay. So, when did you pour the bleach on them?
It was like a couple days after. Like, it was like before we left the house to go chill with some friends. Like, we did it before anyone came over to the house.
Okay. So, you kill Grandma and Grandpa, you basically grab all your shit and put it downstairs. Did that happen the same day?
Yes.
Okay. At some point, you're chilling downstairs with Johnny. You end up, we're like, fuck it, let's have some people over. Johnny tells you to pour bleach on them.
Yeah.
You pour bleach on them.
Yeah.
Where did you put Grandpa's bleach bottle?
Well, he used the same bleach bottle.
Okay. So you bleach Grandpa first,
Yeah.
then you bleach Grandma, and then you throw the bottle in the trash can. In the bathroom.
I don't remember throwing it in.
It's like, it's more like a Windex bottle than it is like a tub of bleach. Okay. And then Johnny caulks the doors
Yes.
after you bleach them,
Yes.
several days after you kill them.
Yes.
And that was because it smelled and you were having people over.
We weren't intending to have any people over. We only had Sunshine Alex come over just that one day because we were like, you know, it was only a couple days after, so we thought it was going to be okay. Like, it didn't smell in the house.
Do they know that your grandparents were upstairs?
No.
They have no idea.
They had no idea. I told them that they were on vacation.
So why didn't they run? They have some money, a car, but they stayed. Well, because they had another plan in mind.
The reason why we stayed in town was because the plan was we were going to get both of our families. That's why...
Hold on, what?
Okay, so the plan was that we were both going to get both of our families. But first we got my grandparents. Then that's why we went over to Johnny's house and we attacked his sister and her boyfriend because he wanted to kill his family.
Okay.
So that's like, we stayed in town for a couple days because, you know, we wanted to get some money, we wanted to get ready to leave. And then that plan, just going over to his house, kind of just like, it didn't work out at all. It went downhill from there.
Now, there seems to be a pretty big gap.
Yeah.
Still, though, between your grandparents and then attacking his sister and the boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Was that kind of in the plan?
Yeah.
To try to get away with it for the week and then kill them?
Well, we were really like going on like a week thing. It was kind of just like a day-to-day kind of thing. Like, what are we going to do today sort of thing. But, I mean, we wanted to get out of town like as soon as possible.
Okay.
But just how it all just kind of timed out. Thank you so much. Didn't really like. It just, I don't know. It didn't really work out as we planned it to be.
Okay.
So
there was no. So you guys basically stayed in town after your grandparents because the plan was then to kill Johnny's family and maybe get some more money?
yes.
Okay. And it wasn't like a set schedule on Saturday at 5:55 p.m. we're gonna go kill him, but more of a day-to-day thing?
Yeah, I mean, like, we were just planning on doing it at night mainly.
Okay. So what made you guys pick that night that you did it and not any of the other nights before? Was anybody gonna be at the house that shouldn't have been, or were you waiting on someone in particular to be there with them? Who's in Johnny's family? Does he got a mom and a dad?
Just a mom, 2 sisters, and that's it.
Okay.
And yeah, we were really like planning on like what time. We were just kind of like just going how it went, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing how it would go, and then it just kind of like really downhill from there.
Now, you expect maybe the gravity of what happened may hit her, or at the bare minimum, she felt bad about what she and Johnny did. I mean, she did feel bad, she says.
I mean, I feel terrible. I mean, I feel like the worst person on the planet, but at the same time, it was kind of just like, I don't know. I mean, I feel heartbroken, but I don't know. It's really weird. Like, I'm really sad about it, and that's like one of the reasons why like I wanted to, kill myself, like, and just overdose, because like there was so much stuff going on between me and my grandparents already. Like, I couldn't handle it anymore, like.
Like you said with his follow-up question, though, I mean, did they deserve it? Did Grandma deserve it? Did Grandpa deserve it? Or was it kind of just more getting away from your own family?
It was more kind of just getting away.
Okay. So you don't think that Grandma did anything?
I mean, I was pretty pissed at her for, the couple times that, like, she would call the cops on me for, no reason sometimes, or, like, just, like, a lot of the stuff that she would say would be really offensive because it would be about my mom.
Who did you have because your grandparents are essentially your parents at this point.
Yeah.
And they've been taking care of you for how many years, and you live with them. It's a day-to-day thing.
Mm-hmm.
Who did you have a more contentious relationship with? Who was the one you were butting heads with all the time?
My grandma.
Your grandma more so than your grandpa?
Yeah, I couldn't talk to my grandpa. Like, I did not have a real good relationship with him. Like, before we did, but then, I don't know, like, I wasn't able to talk to him as much, and he kind of, like, pushed me out.
Pushed you out of his life a little bit. Do you think that maybe, was it Johnny's plan to you get your grandma and he get your grandpa, or did you want to kind of get your grandma yourself because of your relationship, like your strained relationship?
It was sort of Johnny's idea more. I mean, I don't know. I don't think like he deserved it, but I just wanted to get away from all of that, like, I was so tired of dealing with my family. It felt like I didn't even have a family. Like, it felt like they weren't there. Like, even though they tried to help, it's just like the way that they were kind of doing it was like, I don't know, like, it didn't really work out. So, I don't know. I started feeling
Was
like,
your mom ever part of the plan?
oh, killing them?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to.
Was it something you and Johnny discussed, or is it something you just thought of?
Well, I mean, we did discuss it, but then Johnny was like, no, we can't waste our time on them.
Nearly 2 hours into being inside the interrogation room, Cassandra did eventually show some emotion, only after the detectives left the room. A while later, and after investigators took some forensic swabs and photos, all that, detectives let Cassandra know her charges, and they cuffed her, bandaged and all.
You're being charged of malice murder for your grandmother and then malice murder for your grandfather. Okay? There's just the 2 warrants on there. Like I told you, I'm a straight shooter, and I'm just letting you know about that, okay? And obviously, you know my name. If you want to talk later on down the road or whatnot, you're more than welcome to call me, okay? My information's in here. So, okay? Officer Duty now is going to transport you to the jail, so.
Is there someone who can wrap this better?
We can probably get that done by a nurse.
They have nurses at the jail. I hate to make you hurt even worse. If you can just, the jail's literally right around the block. It'll take 2 seconds and then they can. Is that the messed up one too?
Yeah.
Do this as carefully as I can.
Who loosened that? The crime scene lady?
Yes. Okay, if you would just stick your hand through there. There you go.
Feel all right for now. It's only for 5 minutes, so.
Yeah, we're just going literally.
Do you want those pads just to have them in your hand or no?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna go right over here.
In the end, both teens winded up pleading guilty to their charges. Johnny would have faced the death penalty because he was an adult at the time of the crime. Both he and Cassandra admitted to murder, aggravated assault, and theft. Cassandra reportedly said nothing in court during her plea hearing, whereas Johnny begged his family for forgiveness. But they were both sentenced to life in prison. And if you're wondering, the two have broken up. Cassandra and Johnny can both seek parole in about 53 years. By that time, Cassandra will be 78 years old and Johnny will be 80. Online records show he's currently serving his time at the Central State Prison in Georgia, while Cassandra is at the Arendelle State Prison. Reporting for Law and Crime, I'm Elizabeth Millner.